Welcome to Zelda Speed Runs. We have for you from the Zelda 2 Randomizer Upstarts Tournament 2025 a Round 1 Game 2 matchup between Vaughn and Alsoa. I am VT Slacker, I'm your restreamer and tracker for this race, and I'll pass it over to our commentary team of Elendar and Sonirath. Take it away, you two.
Thanks, VT. The dynamic duo is back.
Yep, we're back. Everyone's taking a break from Silk Song to enjoy this wonderful race. Could be the last one of the quarterfinals for this Upstarts tournament.
It absolutely could be. Vaughn is up one game right now against Alsoa. So if Vaughn wins this, then we are moving on to the semifinals, and that'll be one heck of a time.
Yeah, so far, every round the higher seed has won, and so far we got one game of the bag already for Vaughn. I am always a fan of chaos and upsets, so we'd be rooting for Alsoa here.
I'm always a fan of game threes.
Just want more Zelda, and here we go in Islands, question mark? Looks like Islands.
It looks like Islands, kind of smells like Islands. And a 300-point P-Bag right off the bat for Vaughn, which is really good. And immediate DM for Alsoa.
DM not a terrible place to farm some experience early if you want to. If you get some good enemy spawns, it's easy to shove some Dyras up against some rocks.
It absolutely is, and Vaughn already finding Mito, which has the spell. Little unfortunate to see, but not the end of the world, and finds Parappa Cave here. Gonna go ahead and go through it, as well as meeting up with an orange Dyra, only worth 50 points.
Yeah, always fun to see some route divergence early, and I don't blame Alsoa for not wanting to hang out in islands with no boots.
I agree. It's not fun being in an islands biome without boots, but there's Hammer Cave already found, so we could be finding something relatively quick here.
I was gonna say if that cave definitely looked like it was something special, but if it was a way to like the Easter maze, that's huge. Just be like, forget your islands. I'm gonna go look for items somewhere else.
Looks like we're gonna have a little bit of DM exploration from Vaughn as well, which personally I'm a fan of.
Yeah, why not? I mean, when you have like a big open west, like a canyon or something like that, it's probably better to just check those spots. But man, islands is kind of rough. But Vaughn's back at the islands. We'll see what Alsoa gets for this Hammer Cave, whether it's worth it or he's just gonna up A out.
Yeah, he's making a quick run of it, and Vaughn is going to forego DM for right now. Louder is the first enemy here. What's the second enemy going to be?
Nice.
Just a bot. And it's a blue jar.
Dun, 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 dun.
Unfortunate to see, but not the end of the world.
Yeah, even like a P-Bag would be welcome there. That's actually the worst possible item.
Not in this case, since Alsoa is still 112. That would have been really nice to find.
I said a bag would if the blue jar is.
Oh yeah, the blue jar absolutely the worst. I misheard you there.
Yeah, because even a relatively small bag would have been at least worth a level. Take a magic level or something like that, but...
Oh, absolutely. And Vaughn just making quick work of the enemies here, getting a double hit in as well. Vaughn's a very strong vanilla runner, so I'm not surprised to see that tech coming out and showing itself fairly strong, as we see Pillar P-Bag Cave here.
So having a little bit of difficulty with these enemies on the bridges and decides to just up and go a different way.
Now I like Vaughn's little strategy here of moving back to push the Gorilla back so that way he can actually get over the red Dyra no problem and not have to worry about boomerangs being thrown at his face constantly.
See, there we go. That's a good reward.
and
Oh
he's
wow,
gonna
not
let it
not
ride.
taking the life. I would have taken the life level there when you're on 0 health. But or you could just not get hit.
Yeah, Vaughn making it into the magic pixels there to where he did not get hit, as Alsoa finds Mito here, finds out that it is spell and going to take the health refill. And on the swamp tile, it's just a Link doll, so no extra experience for Vaughn yet, but he is very close to attack 3.
We got our first palace sighting up here and a free thunder.
Very free thunder at that. No hint on the lady. No hint on Air's cousin, brother.
I want to see a blue jar and Death Mountain hint. That's what we're here for, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's especially rude on Alsoa's side, but because if you're Vaughn and you get a hint that there's a blue jar at Death Mountain, like that's actually useful information that you extra don't want to do anything in Death Mountain.
I will admit though, DM was a pretty good gamble though on Alsoa's part, just because you never know what's going to be there, and if the boots had been there, then Alsoa would have been off.
I say, if the boots were in that hammer cave, then that's like a 5 or 10 minute kind of advantage. That's absolutely huge.
Oh yeah.
These runners are spending all this time crossing bridges and going down roads and doing encounters, and all of that is just completely avoided with some boots.
Medicine Cave showing up here for Vaughn. Checking the Thunder cost again, seeing it's 97. Unfortunately, not going to be able to cast that for a little bit.
It's almost impossible for Thunder to be castable at Magic 1.
Look at that combat.
Yep.
He's just running a clinic right now.
Better combat than me.
I mean,
yeah, it's up to 3-1-2. Oh, I say we commentary cursed him.
A bit, but the Blue Moblin, I mean, he's going to throw his spears. He's going to try to sweep you low. He's a bit of a tricky enemy sometimes.
Yeah.
Magic Container coming out of Medicine Cave, which is not a bad find, puts him a little bit closer to being able to cast that Thunder spell. But the real question right now is how much is Fairy going to cost? And then the secondary question is, where are the boots?
Yeah, where are the boots is going to be the question for a long time. I always like it when you get a lot of islands tend to just have boots really early because that's the randomizer is looking for a way to put all the items that it can work out, and making the boots available early is a pretty easy way of doing that just coincidentally. But I always do like it when you get an island and you don't actually get the boots until later. You're forced to dig around a bit, so I'm hoping for boots in the east.
That'd be nice. And we do have a King's Tomb sighting, which is going to have no hint. It's just the old lady saying hello. Bridge to Maze Island. This could be huge.
Yeah, I'm curious whether there's a way off of this maze, or it just has 2 items in a palace.
Well, it's got the medicine, so that's going to be access to the spell.
Yeah.
But now, the child drop needs to be found in order for the other item to be located, which, I mean, could still be boots.
This is a kind of a winding path, not particularly easy. So the big win is if you could get east and you could check all of the towns over there and get those spells.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Vaughn doing my favorite thing with cornering a Lizalfos on the wall and just stabbing it to death.
Yeah, it still could be anywhere. We've seen 1 bridge and 1 cave connector. Man, look at this path. Just no forks, just a big long path. But hey, at least it's got both items on it.
Yeah, that's always a good find, and Vaughn going to take out the red Lizalfos here. Unfortunately, does take a hit, only worth 70 points, but a vanilla child, okay.
I gotta have at least one vanilla item in the seed.
That's true. Alsoa sitting low on life, but is probably going to be able to make it to the next screen of the Medicine Cave, which is going to be quite helpful.
Yeah, as long as you can get to the next screen, it's not so painful taking a death.
Just going
to
to have
make it to the item, you can take the death warp, but not going to happen.
Yeah, just going to have some rough enemies to deal with here, and Vaughn is going to head back towards the bridge. I have a feeling he's going to leave the maze and come back later, because once he does grab the boots, he could just walk around the outside of the maze and then jump in through the river. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. A little bit of vanilla encounter manipulation coming into play there, just to stop and wait to see where the enemies were going. Always nice to see.
Yeah, Life 3 is still getting pretty beat up, though. Almost 2 bars from that Dyra.
Yeah, he's taken some pretty big hits. And he's got to get out of this encounter. And the other side has a red Dyra. That is not much better.
It could be worth more experience. And I think that's why he's going for it. Also, it seems to die easier than the oranges. Random
Always
health is
good.
random.
Only a 50-point P-bag coming out of that small enemy drop. And this encounter is not too great. Oh! He's unfortunately going to take a game over there, but that does put him back over by Mito if he decides to pick up the spell and make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, it could actually help quite a bit in some of these encounters. Well, I guess we don't know. Is the spell enemy is shuffled in this flag? Is that right?
If I remember correctly, yes.
Yeah,
It
so
has been a little bit since I've looked at the week 5 Upstarts flags.
Yeah, so it could help out quite a bit. Occasionally you'll get the nasty spell turns everything into red Dyras or something like that, and it's an absolute mess. But
at this attack level, they would only take 1 hit to kill, and that would actually be quite beneficial due to the amount of EXP that would be gained.
yeah, it'd be a good farm, but it could be awkward. It could potentially make it so your encounter got even harder to clear without taking damage, just depending on where they're positioned.
That's true. A little bit of a stop on the grass there just to make sure enemies spawn properly. And a pretty good walk coming through.
So we got jump spell in Saria, but unable to get it because it's on the far side.
Bagu is gonna have to be found here. Or
Curious if either runner goes and gets the Bagu hint. Come on, Bon. There we go.
he's gonna get it. I love it. I love it.
I don't usually go and get the Bagu hint, but this is exactly the kind of situation. Northwest Woods. Okay. It's exactly the kind of situation you want to get it in, where there's a pretty strong chance you're going to need to cross that Saria, and at least knowing where Bagu is can make a world of difference. Although Northwest is not easy way to get that, is there?
It doesn't look very accessible right now, but that story could change. 200-point red iron knuckles are huge.
Will we see some farming? Answer yes.
Oh, I would be yelling at Vaughn if he didn't do a farm here, but unfortunately he gets hit, and that's going to be another life down. But with life 4 coming up here before too long, it's not bad, and I don't think he's checked to see if Thunder dropped in cost at all with Magic 2, though I doubt it has.
Yeah, P4 makes this farm a little bit trickier. You gotta deal with the MOA as you go, but for 200 points apiece, definitely worth grabbing a couple levels.
Gets the snipe on the MOA with the turnaround. I love it. Alsoa performing a beautiful neutral jump over the red Lizalfos. Does it again. I love it.
Yeah, doesn't even do the backstab, just makes it clean over. Definitely
Absolutely love
the
it.
safest way to go and get over Dyrus or Lizalfos or anything like that.
And I do believe we're going to have Vaughn going back over into the maze. Going to see if there's another connector, maybe even a check of the palace here.
Yeah, we saw the whole north side, but really none of the south.
Beautiful, beautiful jump from Vaughn there.
Ooh, there is a cave off of here. Oh, but you can't get to it from the south side. The south side, you can only get to the raft. You have to go all the way across the north side to get to this cave unless you have boots. Is this also the west? No.
It's the east.
Okay, so double islands, man, the question of where is the boots, increasingly relevant.
Alsoa made it to the cave. So, with that being the east, that's a really, really good find.
Yeah, and curious now where the raft goes? Yeah, Vaughn getting the bad news that you cannot get to where that cave is from here. You have to go all the way around that top side, several encounters long, not a quick one.
Yeah, and that last tile must be an encounter which allows you to walk through the mountain and be able to enter the cave. That is tricky.
Man, 96 at Magic 3 for Alsoa, so still not a castable Thunder. Would be nice if it became castable. But we are down far enough that one additional container will get him there.
In theory, it'll be castable later. And is this a double island seed? Because this looks like a double island seed.
Oh yeah, first one to find the boots wins.
First one to find the boots and then the glove.
Yeah, I say it's not 100% true that the first person to find the boots wins, but really huge advantage if you find the boots substantially before your opponent.
Alsoa jumping into P5, gonna check some stuff out here.
I don't mind a quick check, especially because he is pretty close to a level. But
yep.
Yeah, and that was it. Just explore a little bit, take your level, get out.
I mean, it looks like the experience in there is not that bad either, so 125 looking like it'll have pretty good experience. And 346 Red IKs being at 200 a pop is huge. And Vaughn just realized that he has to go through this encounter in order to be able to get to the cave as Alsoa finds Sunken.
This is this is technically not logic.
No, it's not.
And that's actually really useful information I hadn't realized that both runners just did that clip. It's actually really useful information to know, having seen that, because that means that the logic 100% thinks that you need the boots to pass through that, which means that right now the boots cannot be anywhere in the east logically unless that raft also leads to the east.
And there's a possibility that it does. I believe the path around was boots locked, so that is a slight problem.
Yeah, but I would definitely be on the lookout for a raft tile if I were the runners, because if you know that the raft tile isn't over here, okay. So Alsoa did get that 6th container and now can cast Thunder with all of his magic and got pretty good experience for doing it.
Yeah, that 6th container came from Sunken, and now it's into Risen. This is going to be a bit of a scary dive, but we have an old Kasuto with Shield, so Thunder and Shield just swapped places.
Yeah, what's interesting about that logic, if the boots are locking the east, and you want to, you know, and you just sort of have the vibes that that's what the logic is telling you based on this east technically being boots blocked right now. It gives you strong encouragement to do things like, if you like pick up at any key here, just leave immediately and go back and start doing palaces. Or
that's
just
a boot.
Okay, so that means that logically you need the raft to get to the east.
But apparently there was another path that we had missed that was able to be taken to get to the cave, and we have GP on the west. We're going to go ahead and see what Rudo has, and Rudo has the life spell this time around. Vaughn about to pick up fire, and we might find out what it's linked to. It's 49 cost. And it is linked to shield.
Yeah, you know, can't win them all. And very, very few useful hints found so far for either runner.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate to see, but not the end of the world.
They're all hiding. They're hanging out in old Kasuto and whatnot.
Looks like we're going to see the desert tile from Vaughn here very shortly. Does some beautiful dodging there. Does take a hit, but that's not a big deal. Going to jump onto the desert tile, and it's a heart container. So that is nice for Vaughn. Finds the new Kasuto tile. No hammer in sight yet, but Alsoa is about to pick up downstab here, and there's Larry doing his job for Vaughn right now, which is a little unfortunate, but Vaughn probably going to be able to find those boots before too long, unless he gets invisible mode.
Absolutely rude, and it's going to send him back to the west.
Yeah, this is not a great situation for Vaughn, but it looks like he is gonna head back to grab... Is he gonna grab the spell? It looks like he is.
Meanwhile, Alsoa beelining it now that he's got that jump spell to get downstab, and might as well pick up spell on your way. Is that a hint for okay, that was a magic container hint, but I forgot. I missed where it was.
Yeah, I didn't quite see where it was, and I do believe we're about to have another item cave checked here for Alsoa. Nope, this is not an item cave. This is Fairy Cave. Alright, there's the spell picked up for Vaughn. 53 cost at Magic 3, which isn't bad. And it looks like Vaughn is probably going to head back over.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he kind of has to. As much as it hurts to take that game over, you have to at least feel that he hasn't checked Death Mountain, but other than that, East pretty much has to be your progression, and you just gotta try not to die. But I mean, that game over for Vaughn was just absolutely painful. The good news is, when he does go back to the East, he's likely to go a different direction instead of going back to where he was, and that should funnel him towards those boots. So it's going to cost him a bunch of time, but he should actually get these boots in a sec.
Yeah, he absolutely should, and also just retracing some steps, trying to find the remaining item caves and getting some experience while on the way.
The thing that really stinks is if he had the boots would speed up this Maze Islet a ton.
Yeah, it would. Now, with that child in tow, that does give access to all the spells over on the east, so once Vaughn finds the boots, I'm wondering if he's actually going to stay over there and grab all of the spells before returning.
I think it makes sense. The big reason to... oh, interesting. That's a raft tile on the west? What? That does... oh, I guess there's still two... Where is he? Cave Bridge. Huh.
Yeah, so VT saw another way to be able to get to Maze Island.
Okay, there was another way that wasn't boots blocked?
Yeah.
Okay, you just had to go around the far side. I was just making sure that the logic was...
No, the logic was not broken here.
Okay. That's fine.
It makes sense now.
Yeah. And a flute for Alsoa with a quick little thunder to have to not have to deal with that red Dyra. But yeah, the biggest reason to up A when you get the boots is just to do what Alsoa did. You know boots is going to give you access to jump spell. You know you can get down stab immediately after, and so...
It looks like Vaughn is going to continue in the same direction that he was just going in instead of diverting to the other direction.
Oh, well, we did get some vanilla bots, but bots continuing to be, as they are in the vanilla speedrun, the deadliest enemy in the game.
Bots are going to do what bots are going to do.
And this time, Vaughn waits for the coconut to get over the lava before casting spell, so the bot falls in it.
All right, Vaughn is coming over to this town, and it is new Kasuto with Reflect. Gonna see if he can get into Grandma's basement. No, 7 magic containers needed for Grandma's basement, as Alsoa gets magic 4.
Yeah, and Vaughn sort of realizing he can't really do anything here.
I mean, he can check Spell Tower. He's going to grab the Reflect spell, which is going to be useful, but...
Does Vaughn have the spell?
Yeah, he picked up spell.
Okay, I missed that. I must have missed that.
Yeah, because
it's not so bad.
After he took the game over, he picked up spell.
Okay. Yeah, if he's got spell, I mean, if the spell could be like magic-y or something, and it could be glove, but we still haven't seen any information about the glove, so still good things that it could be.
Yeah, there are still a lot of hints left out in the world. And he is going for the doorbell. Oh, hits it too early.
I appreciate the effort.
Survey says it's a heart container, which I won't say no to that. I would never say no to a heart container in this case.
Considering he just lost a whole bunch of time to taking a game over, any additional safety, very welcome.
Unfortunately, he needs to find a palace and up A in it soon.
Meanwhile, Alsoa has finished up exploration of the west and moved on to the east, looking to finish up everything he needs for go mode before diving palaces.
Go west to find the flute.
Okay, that's another hint. So we've had, I think that's 2 helpful hints we've seen.
Yeah, that's
the gag prize is still out there.
Well, if the magic jar hint has come around, that's most likely.
It was magic. I think that was magic container hints. Don't know if those count as the minor hint or not. I don't remember.
Those do.
Okay.
Oh, looks like Vaughn has made it to where the boots are, just in a different manner, and I like this.
Yeah, I mean, anything that leads him to the boots is going to get him on track to starting to catch up in the seed.
And that Link doll is huge here, because he was on his last life.
Yeah, just a good safety and should be able to clear the sunken no problem, especially with that extra life. That was interesting.
Vaughn just showing what he can do with combat.
Didn't think he was quite in position, but apparently he was. Okay, so another magic container.
And Risen is the cave that has the boots, and he's right by it because Sunken and Risen were right next to each other.
Yeah, and now with an extra life and an available cast of Thunder, it should have absolutely no problem getting those boots.
Oh, for sure. Alsoa going to be able to check Grandma's basement, and survey says it's a magic jar.
Okay. So we're maxed out on magic. He gets the hint for the flute. Thanks.
All right, Vaughn going into Risen. Gonna opt to shield.
Yeah, shield does a couple of nice things here. It'll probably protect her from a hit from anything other than the coconuts. That'll probably still kill him. But also gives him the fire in case there's some Moas floating around. Can help you screen for them.
Gonna get rid of the orange Lizalfos for 150 and pick up the boots. So Vaughn is now ready to continue exploration. Gonna go ahead and up A. And now it's time to clear everything that he can here on the west.
Little surprised he's not making a beeline for downstab either.
Well, he's got to go get jump from Saria before he can go get downstab.
But he's not heading in the direction of Saria. It ends up finding the grass tile, so a nice pickup of a magic container. I'm sure we'll see him clear the whole continent, but
that 7th MC is always nice. He's not going to check the palace.
Oh, I was just wrong about where Saria is. Okay.
And Fairy is in Darunia.
Yeah, I got confirmation by process of elimination there, so both runners will be able to pick that up with their boots and their child, no problem, as soon as we find where the heck it is.
If they don't need hammer.
That's a distinct possibility.
It could be hiding under 3-Eye Rock. I don't think Alsoa checked that, but I could be mistaken.
Well, I was gonna say, I would walk on that. Maybe he walked on that forest previous to the check. I don't remember.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Quick little detour for a 200-point bag.
And this is going to be upstab as well as Fairy obtained for Alsoa, which is honestly quite nice.
Alsoa dropping his magic so that he can cast jump and get the refill. So he'll be full up after the jump cast. We'll see a super jump. We saw exactly one attempt, and he's just going to walk around.
I appreciate him giving it an attempt, though.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. I mean, trying to get the timing on the way in is definitely the hardest one, because you don't have as much time to see the setup, and you have to actually cast jump really quickly when you come in. But also, there's very little cost to give it a try.
Oh, yeah. I mean, going for it immediately is, for lack of better words, a tenacious move.
And if you hit it, you're going to look really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to say the other word that was on my mind for it, but most people can probably guess what it is.
All right, so Alsoa, 33 and a half minutes into the seed, the first one with Logical Palace is available. Curious whether he'll keep... I have to imagine he's just going to keep doing the overworld until he's found everything. He still hasn't found desert or water tile.
And Vaughn has not found water tile, so there is a chance that that water tile is going to have the glove. But at the same time, looks like that water tile might be hiding underneath the Nuke Pseudo tile.
That would be hilarious.
Alright, Vaughn finding GP. Alsoa doing more exploration, looking for that water tile, does find it. So now the question is, will the glove actually be here on said water tile?
If it's not, then we're glove hunting.
And it's not. It's a Link doll.
So, what palace is it going to be in?
5.
I mean, that's the best bet. I presume our runners are gonna not try and do that first, but
Granted, I think there's one item cave missing on the west. I might be mistaken.
it is. But I know there's a hammer block cave on the west. I don't know if those two are the same.
Glove could be under Spec Rock. Glove could be in Trophy Cave. That's the missing item cave. There we go.
Yeah, but again, Trophy Cave might also be hammer blocked. So I like Alsoa's decision. It's time to do palaces, and maybe you'll get a glove for free in the first palace you check.
Yeah, jumps into 2 and gets a quick item found.
Oh, man, got like 4 stabs in and a Thunderspell. Blue Iron Knuckles still takes 3 more hits to kill, and now he can't fairy.
Yeah, not going to be able to cast Fairy, which is the unfortunate part. So he could either just go ahead and opt to take a death here, or he could just up an A, come back in, and cast Fairy at the start of the room.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to take that death, but decided the bubble was killing him too slow. It's just, even at like 4, he's got so many bars, it's just taking him a while to go down.
And he finally takes the death, and he's going to go down the elevator, and we're going to see an immediate Fairy cast. Now the question is, what's the item going to be in here? It's a glove.
Ooh.
Alright, so that's full palace access for Alsoa. If Vaughn opts to not go into P2, then he's going to have a bit of a problem going through this.
Yeah, as far as double islands seeds go, this is actually turning out to be a little bit of a jet seed. I mean,
yeah.
Alsoa's got not only everything he needs to beat the seed at this point, but a ton of resources, so we should see these palaces fall very rapidly.
That's the hope. Vaughn going to be looking around as Helmet Head is found very, very quickly. Vaughn finds 5. 2 being very, very free here. And Helmet Head goes down for Alsoa. So we're going to see exactly what his plan is continuing forward.
He's a little low on experience. This might be a bit tricky because he's not quite on pace now to hit 5, 6, 7. He might have to do some experience-related stunts to get attack 5 by the time he's in GP. It's the only little bit of a concern right now.
I mean, to be fair, he could get a couple double levels coming in and then be good to go, because Barba is still going to be worth a ton of EXP.
Yeah. So I like killing this red Iron Knuckle at the start. Just try to prime your experience a little bit so you can get the double from Karok. Because you really only need 1 double level to be set here.
Oh, absolutely. And Vaughn should be finding Darunia. There we go. Brain, I need you to work very soon.
Yeah, so now Alsoa doesn't have enough magic to fairy right at the beginning. And now he's hoping for a jar, and it's just all Iron Knuckles.
I mean, that's not entirely a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll give you magic.
It's just more priming of experience.
Yeah, just get 5 Iron Knuckles in a row. It'll get you Magic 5, and well, it's probably attack level, actually. But all right,
there's the jar. All right, Vaughn soon to have Fairy and will have access to palaces, but that glove being in 2 might be a bit of a problem here.
Yeah, the good news is it's basically the closest palace to start, and Vaughn making more attempts at the super jump, not quite getting enough momentum. That one was a little late, and decides to forget it.
Can't blame him for trying, though.
Yeah, give it even if you are not great at doing the super jump, give it a few attempts. If you make it cool, if you don't, you tried, and then you got some practice, right? You got some learning. You can always just go back around. Doesn't cost a ton of time.
So 3, 4, 5 for Alsoa with 1 gem placed. Finds a 200-point bag. That's actually really good right now, because that's going to give him a little bit of buffer on experience. Very soon to be picked up here by Vaughn, and we are going to have everybody's favorite mini-boss. The seed has been blessed by the Rebo Shark.
Hooray, Rebo Shark. You will be missed.
All right, Alsoa's got the corner strat going. Unfortunately, loses it for a moment just because Rebo decides to bop him, but gets Rebo down. That's going to be the attack level, and will be able to be primed for Magic 5.
Yeah, that took a lot of hits at attack 3. It was a good thing he had downstab, because that would have been a very, very difficult downstab with Rebo.
Vaughn opting to not go to 2, going to clear what he can on the east, finds 1 immediately.
So now the danger for Vaughn is just, is there a glove-locked palace? As long as none of these palaces are glove-blocked, it's not going to cost him a ton of time. But as soon as he finds a palace that's glove-blocked, that's just all waste versus going to P2 first.
Hitting these guys with jump is so awkward.
Oh yeah, we had that seed of the week that had jump always on a little bit ago, and you don't realize until you're playing with jump always on how difficult some of the easier enemies can be.
Well, Vaughn does find the hammer in 1, but Alsoa is at Karok and looking to place that second gem.
Does he have enough magic to cast Fairy here? I know he took the death. That was a very expensive Reflect. I know at Magic 3 it was like 48. Oh, that's right. The bosses are just dropping keys in this flag.
I was about to say, Reflect's not, or Fairy's not needed because the bosses drop keys. Vaughn, though, hitting a dead end, is going to have to go all the way down this elevator here at the start of 1 and then continue right. 4, looking pretty free. 2, absolutely free. So the west will fall very quickly. It's the question of whatever palace is on Maze Island, whether it's 3 or 6, and how long is 5 going to take? Now, Vaughn might backtrack here to pick up that red jar, and he's nope, he's going to make liar of me twice. I can't be upset about that. Get stuck on the corner. All right, going down the elevator. Going to continue down, and here's a horse for Vaughn.
Pretty quick P1. P1 is usually quick, but this one continuing the trend. Not glove.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
That is the important thing, and it looks like Alsoa is most likely in 6 here.
Yeah, if this is 6, taking a brief pit stop to get that magic key might be worth it. How cheap is Fairy? Not.
Looks
So
like
it went from 48 to 44 at Magic 5.
yeah, it didn't drop by much, but a small drop is better than no drop.
Yeah, 48, a little bit high to average for Magic 4, but 45, quite high for Magic 5.
Alright, also having to deal with a pretty nasty enemy grouping here. And Vaughn looking like he might be going into the valley, and he is. I like this play from Vaughn, but at the same time, it's going to be a little tough just because your magic supply is so low here.
The good news for him is he's almost certainly just going to up A after finishing this palace, and that should put him closer to completing 2.
And he's just not getting fairy feet at all.
And just thinking about giving up, going back to a palace and recovering his magic.
As Alsoa finds Barba very quickly, looking to go for broke here.
Did you see him cast the shield spell? That is not going to help you, sir.
Hey, it's habit. Alright, Vaughn gonna go ahead and take the death. Is he just gonna fairy through? No, he's gonna attempt more fairy feet here. He gets it. He's got one more fairy feet to go. He gets it. He's going to make it into the palace in the Valley of Death. Hopefully, it is not one that's glove blocked. And I believe it's going to be 3.
Yeah, pretty medium option, but might as well do it while you're here. We didn't see an item for Alsoa. I don't even knowing that the item here is the magic key, I don't think that he's gonna go back for it.
Yeah, I doubt he will.
Good thing to keep in mind in case, things go absolutely terribly and you need to pick up a key, but
So Vaughn finds Rebo very, very quickly. This 3 is also quite free.
yeah, but he's almost certainly gonna go dig it looking for a glove. And so a free 3 is gonna turn into a substantially less free 3.
Casting the shield spell for safety, which I like. And getting set up for the corner strat after getting knocked out of it. Very, very good play by Vaughn there. And that's going to be his second gem placed. Alsoa's got 3. So this is... Honestly, this is still really anybody's game.
Yeah, it's certainly close enough to be within the GP margin of error.
Vaughn going to let the experience ride, going for attack 4 here, which I actually like.
Yeah, attack 3 is not great.
And he's going to search for that glove.
Yeah, so for his sake, he's got to hope that the item is relatively quick. Or we could just see like a glove block immediately here and be like, hey, this item is not the glove, you can leave now.
Yeah, if a glove block shows itself, then that's going to be really, really good for Vaughn. But the item's just right here, so he's good to go.
Okay. So he's not being hurt very much. Oh, not taking the up A though.
He did take the up A.
Yeah, he did take the up A. I was expecting an up A to the west out of the valley.
Oh no, he's still got 5 to do, so he's going to look to clear 5 as Alsoa finishes up 1, has a very clean horsehead fight, and Vaughn going for some more fairy feet, looking for that 1 frame tap, gets it twice, has 1 more to go, going to jump into the lava, take the death, and we're going to see if he can get that final 1 frame tap after lining up. Gets it.
Nice. Yeah, so quite a bit easier from the right than it is from the left, just because you get a good visual indication because you're lining up exactly to the edge. The left edge, you just sort of randomly disappear unless you've got some practice with it. It can be funky.
And we have dueling 5s.
This is a good opportunity for Vaughn to catch up, potentially. 5 could be long and awful and could gain some time. Could also be a hot mess if we end up with a glove block.
It could also be very, very quick. All right, there is attack 5 for Alsoa, and we have a drop column as Alsoa finds Gooma.
That's unfortunate for Vaughn. This was a very quick 5, and it wasn't even glove blocked. Well, so because of the way that room works, the logic thinks that's glove blocked. It's not actually glove blocked, but obviously not relevant whether it's logical or not at this point. If Vaughn did take this route and found Gooma right away, it would be really helpful because he would not only be able to kill Gooma, he would know the glove's not here because of that little bit of logic and could just absolutely turbo this. Instead, he manages to loop back around to the start, which honestly might be the best possible thing for him.
Yeah, that's by far the best outcome for him, as it's going to cause him to go right, and he's going to get into that Gooma fight relatively quickly now. But Alsoa, with 1 palace to go now, is just breathing down the neck of the entrance of GP. Where Vaughn, he's still got 2, 4, and 6 to go.
Yeah, some of those are quick palaces, but it's depending on how quickly he does 2, what order he does things, how quickly he finds items. He's still probably going to be at least 5 minutes behind heading into GP on an optimistic expectation. But I mean that's good news for us because we like game 3s.
It is.
But again, GP can absolutely mess up anybody. We've had races decided where one runner had 15, 20, 25 minutes advantage into GP. If it just ends up being that mean and that awful.
Oh, absolutely. And Alsoa, instead of going for the fairy feed, is going for the encounter skips, which I'm a fan of. It's the classic way to do this. And honestly, a little bit easier. I won't say much easier.
Yeah, the only thing that's spooky about it is without the cross, if these encounters had a bunch of invisible Moas, it could be dangerous. But it doesn't look like there's any Moas anywhere in these encounters. Probably would have seen them by now if there were.
Well, any potential time that Vaughn would get back is absolutely getting lost here as he's checking 5 for the glove.
Yeah, Vaughn, right? Because that room with the down elevator, like there's a right path in that room, right? Like is that room logically glove blocked? I don't remember which room that is.
I think that one has
that's
a
the
dead
one
end
we
at
go
the
right as well.
It might be. I don't remember. I think it's got a dead end at the far right side. There's so many rooms that it's hard to remember which rooms are which.
Yeah. Well, especially with some new rooms coming down the pipe, and man, Yeah, this 3 we saw earlier from Von's side is basically free, and also it correctly holds right.
Yeah, and Vaughn, searching for this item in 5, is going to lose him so much time and ultimately give Alsoa a massive edge going into GP, which he should be entering GP here very, very shortly. So it's very, very likely that we are going to see a Game 3 happen between these two. Also going to go ahead and come back into 3. I wonder if he... Oh, he's out of keys. He's looking for a key, or even going after the magic key.
Okay, I had to look that one up. That is a dead end on the right. That's just a left and down. So there's just a number of variations of that room. It's hard to remember them all.
And Vaughn has run into a glove block. He's going to continue searching.
Oof.
As Alsoa up in A's, saves, and here before too long, we're going to see GP entrance.
Yeah, I'm looking at Alsoa's splits, and it's sort of the story of how this seed has been. Against his splits, he was 1 minute behind at Palace 2, or placing his second gem, and 21 minutes ahead placing the 6th. This was absolutely a, once you find the stuff and you're in go mode, it's jetty jet.
Oh, absolutely. And now it's going to come down to how nasty is GP going to be, as we already see a spicy chicken, and he's going to have to cast shield here. He's taken a few hits.
Cast shield after taking a couple hits. And
taking another hit.
Makes it through without dying, but it's a lot of resources. And unfortunately for him, he's got 7 of 8 spells on the one spell he doesn't have as life spell.
Yeah, little unfortunate, but in the essence of going fast, deciding to skip life spell is definitely one of the decisions to make. Gonna opt to get the fairy here, which I like.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've got shield, it can be not so bad if you don't have life, but you do have to cast shield before you get hit. My best rule of thumb is if you see a chicken, you press shield. Just don't play around. Don't take any chances. Chicken equals shield.
That is true, Angel. He did not have the trophy for life. I forgot that was in Rudo.
Yeah.
Not able to get the jump here. Gonna opt to use the jump spell. Gonna continue right, and one of the fun rooms showing itself does make it past the spicy chicken. And Vaughn going into 4.
Yeah, this unfortunately just last locationing this glove instead of Alsoa's basically first location.
Yeah.
Drop is a fun gamble potentially for Vaughn coming in here. We haven't seen a drop exit room yet, so
that could put him just outside of T-Bird, or it could put him who knows where in the palace.
Yeah, it's one of those things, if you feel like you're behind, which I suspect he will coming into GP, then it's a reasonable spot to make a gamble.
Alright, casting Fairy to get through the Fairy Glove block, which is always good. Does get the red jar, and is on his merry way through this 4. But first, a word from our favorite mini-boss, the Reba Shark.
So majestic.
That was a beautiful jackhammer from Vaughn there.
And then gets the corner set up after the fact, and no problem.
Just like that. Reba Shark gone. All right. So, depending upon if that drop is required to get to Thunderbird, Vaughn's actually got a chance to catch back up here. It could even just be a shortcut.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly opportunities for gambling available. Is this a loop for Alsoa?
It looks like it is. It doesn't even look like it is. It absolutely is a loop for Alsoa.
Definitely a loop. So he's going to go left here in the cast fairy room. Right? You're cast fairy? Please,
nope.
Please cast fairy.
He's waiting for the spicy chickens to despawn.
There's a lot of spicy chickens. The spicy chickens are not so bad here. The regular chickens can be absolutely nasty, jumping on you from the blue, and yeah, even ropes and stuff can be deadly.
That's a fantastic question, TAH. Are we losing Rebo Shark?
There is a fix for Rebo Shark in the new version. We've talked about potentially adding an option or some a sprite modifier to bring him back for people who want. But yeah, there have been a number of changes to graphics that necessitated fixing Rebo Shark.
So Vaughn looking a little lost in this 4 right now.
Yeah, and Alsoa just being safe with this bird, doesn't want to mess around. For people looking to handle birds in waffle rooms, this is a extremely safe but quite slow strategy for taking them down.
Vaughn, unfortunately, a little slow on that fairy cast, and is going to take a death. And I think this is another loop.
And I don't remember this P4 taking so long for Alsoa. Vaughn just kind of taken the wrong path in every palace, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, it can happen, and in this case, Vaughn just not having a good time. And that is a second loop for Alsoa.
Okay. And here's an up A. Is he gonna drop?
He might.
I'd be dropping at this point. But there are still paths that he can go. There still are other ways. So the drop not mandatory, but it is conveniently close to start.
Yeah, I would. This is a situation that I would take the drop instead of check other paths.
Learns his lesson from the previous time going through this room, immediately cast shield.
Good move. And Vaughn finding what I believe is a loop here.
Man, I don't remember this P4 being so long and just being a huge mess.
Yeah, this P4 has been an absolute mess for Vaughn, which is unfortunate to see, but not the end of the world. Now, Alsoa could opt to take the left here, and it looks like he's going to. So we'll see what resides off to this left. As I think Vaughn is going to go up and then right here.
I think this is the right way. Yeah.
Yes, it is. The problem of not trusting this room is when you don't trust it and it's the right way, you feel so bad about it. All right. Alsoa having some fun with some dots.
Oh, and they are still very deadly. Another one of those rooms where you see vertical dots is probably best to cast shield proactively.
Opted not to, but we'll see what happens here.
Is he gonna make it through this room?
No.
And Vaughn is out of P4 on to P2 probably.
I imagine on to P2 where he's going to find that glove very quickly, be kicking himself, and then it'll be 6 and GP remaining. And here's a dead end, and this is a landing room, so that drop could actually go to this landing room in particular.
Ooh, that's the worst kind of thing to see. Yeah, it's a dead end and also makes you really not want to try that drop.
And there is the glove for Vaughn.
Yeah, and it's just basically impossible to miss. The good news is this P2 is going to be basically 2 more rooms.
So long as Vaughn goes the right way.
Yep, that way is up.
And he absolutely went the right way. Time for a quick helmet head fight. And just like that, helmet head goes down.
Only attack 4 and still basically just evaporates.
Yeah, that's a little scary to think about.
And I think P6 was just hold right, so shouldn't be too much longer before Vaughn is also in GP.
I believe it was.
Nope, that's the loop Alsoa. Maybe he wants to. There's another path over there that he wants to try out.
There very well may be.
Oh, this left maybe.
I believe he came from this left, but
he is absolutely bodied.
He's eating so much damage there, and this life 7 effectiveness has not been amazing.
Yeah, chickens kind of just don't care.
I'm gonna go ahead and up A. So I think the drop is actually going to be required here.
Yeah, I'm not sure there are. I mean, there were some other paths, but Alsoa's kind of checked all of them. And, I mean, if you do drop it, it puts you in that dead end from before. It's not the end of the world. It's still, relatively deep into the palace. You can look around and try and find something else, but... Once again, this first waffle room.
Welcome to the waffle room again.
I appreciate how in the vanilla flag set and also in the 4.0 rooms, we got more waffles, and then for the new rooms for the new version, yet again additional waffles were submitted.
Yeah, the new waffle rooms are going to be quite interesting to see how everybody deals with them.
My favorite waffle room is the one I made, where it's a waffle room you can drop into.
Yes! I love that waffle room. Alright, Vaughn gonna go ahead and go up the elevator. Opting not to go right there, gonna just hold right here, which, if I remember correctly, this is the right way to go.
Yeah, it's been so long since Alsoa was in this 6. I don't know for sure. I remember Alsoa didn't spend a ton of time in here.
Yep, here it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Alsoa didn't want to. So now, yeah, I mean, Vaughn is going to be 10 minutes or so behind into this GP, but I mean, if he just sees that drop, right, just holds right at the beginning, sees that drop and says, well, it's gambling time, then he could potentially gain a lot of advantage, although here's Alsoa. Is Alsoa going to drop? Answer, yes. Okay. It's not the same room.
And Vaughn taking the death just to skip the Barb of Death animation. This does look like it's deeper in GP. and we'll probably end up leading the T-Bird because this room will have an elevator at the end of it.
Yeah, it's basically the only new territory. So looking like, Vaughn is starting to hit the end of his ability to gamble his way out of this problem. Also, gonna, assuming this is the way to GP, also basically 100%ing it, but just too far ahead coming in.
I think Vaughn's going to jump back in to look for the magic key, which this could actually be a significant play. Because
I mean, if it turns out the GP is key blocked, then I don't think Alsoa has any keys.
Alsoa does not have any keys, so if the one room that can appear in GP does appear where it's glove and then locked door and then glove block, this is going to favor Vaughn. Thunderbird found by Alsoa, and he's going to queue up Thunder. Vaughn picking up another key. He's going to go ahead and bounce. I like this play.
Thunder 96 still at Magic 6, but all 8 containers going to be enough for the full set of safeties for Alsoa.
All right, Vaughn, 109.53. I'd say he's about 14 minutes behind.
Yeah, wow. The safeties can only do so much. Alsoa just getting absolutely bodied. Only 1 life left. Gonna have to make sure he doesn't take a game over here.
Thunderbird combat is vital, and being able to maintain that pendulum is going to be huge.
Vaughn was practicing Thunderbird before this race, just to warm up, and Alsoa's having a bit of a time with it.
Yeah, maintaining the pendulum is usually the hardest part. Vaughn having a little bit of an issue getting through the waffle room, but does make it through. Was not able to get the quantum leap on the second waffle. I believe he got it on the first waffle. The question is whether or not he's going to gamble the drop, and if he does, then this is going to get him to Thunderbird very, very quickly, where Alsoa is still fighting T-Bird, but in a bad spot. Gonna take a game over and send him back to the start of GP. Vaughn going up the elevator here and gonna go right, which does lead to the drop. If he feels behind enough, I see him gambling this drop.
This is exactly the kind of thing Vaughn needed to catch up. He needed to get lucky on this drop and for Alsoa to take a game over. Both of those things have happened now, and we'll see if Vaughn decides to gamble. I get, one of the things has happened. We'll see what Vaughn wants to do here at this drop, whether he thinks he's got to figure he's behind, but is he willing to do a gamble? Answer, no.
He's not gambling the drop. This is just gonna put him a little further behind. And with that Thunder cost still being 96, but knowing Vaughn's execution with Thunderbird,
yeah, Vaughn has that vanilla experience. If he hits Thunderbird, I really don't think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have a much easier time, but he's got to take that drop to make it there. He's just going to hit loops otherwise. This is absolutely anybody's game right now, and Alsoa needs to take this win in order to keep his tournament life alive. And Vaughn, if he wins this, he advances to the semifinals.
Yeah, it's potentially a big one. This is the 3-7, right? So the winner of this faces the winner of the... I don't remember. Out of the brackets. Let's try to remember.
Winner of this faces Sigil.
Sigil. Okay, man, that's going to be a pretty great match, regardless of who wins it.
Oh, absolutely. And Vaughn opts away from that room. Going to continue right, and says hello to a loop. All right, Alsoa, low on life right now. Looking to get down these raw heads. Does get him down. That's going to keep him from spawning again for a little bit. Until he hits a certain threshold in the room and unfortunately takes a hit.
Yeah, he needed to take a death in order to refill his magic, but you'd prefer to take that, all the way on Thunderbird rather than waiting until rather than earlier.
Okay, Vaughn's gonna make it through this waffle room by the skin of his teeth. But the skin of his teeth is more than enough and immediately gonna take the death here in the next room.
Okay, also it gets the head spawn behind, so it makes it real easy to walk on through.
Yeah, that back spawn is always huge here. Now it's just a matter of, can Alsoa make it through T-Bird? Vaughn realizes he looped again, so he knows that he's going to have to take either the left or the drop. As Alsoa makes it back to Thunderbird, but he's only got one hit available.
Yeah, he has a life in reserve, but he's not going to have any safety factor here on Thunderbird anymore.
All right, Vaughn back into GP, gets the Quantum Leap, but is taking some heavy damage right now. Gets the second Quantum Leap, which is exactly what he wanted for here. Alsoa just staying calm, slow, and steady here, not panicking.
Alright, down to his last life, but this time he will have Shield Spell and a full bar of life. So we'll be able to take quite a few more hits.
Vaughn taking the exact same route Alsoa did. And Alsoa just getting mauled here.
Oh.
Absolutely mauled by Thunderbird there.
This is rough.
And I know Alsoa is more partial to fighting Thunderbird in the middle, which makes it that much harder to do.
Yeah, when you're at high levels, fighting him in the middle with, jump and you can get a lot of hits in very quick. It can be a quick strategy, but that's really only viable when you have a lot of levels. When you're
Attack 8 and Life 8.
Yeah, if you got Attack 8, Life 8, then it's a different story. But here at 5, 6, 7, you're going to be a little more careful however you decide you want to fight Thunderbird. It's a battle of attrition more than a sprint.
Yeah, it takes a little bit extra time. But Vaughn, about to find the dead end, knows that he's going to have to take the drop. As that's the only path that he has to go. So now both of them have the path to Thunderbird narrowed down, and it really is just going to come down to execution, preservation of resources, as well as a few other things. Luck might even be a factor here.
Also, still a little bit ahead, but he's really got to kill Thunderbird on this life.
Yeah. Otherwise, Vaughn's going to come in, and he's going to be coming in hot. Fortunately, Vaughn dealing with a bit of lag due to the fire spell and the fireballs that have been coming out. Not only from the fire spell, but from the spicy chicken. And then the sword beams from the regular chicken make it even worse.
Is also going to drop. Yes.
Just using the fairy cast in order to play it as safely as possible, not something that I am against.
Yeah, just again, he wants to just. It's fine if he ends up using most of his resource. Again, he already has to take a death to be able to cast Thunder. So as long as he doesn't take any additional losses of resources prior to Thunderbird, it's not a big deal. But be as safe as you can outside of using up any additional magic on your second or third life.
Absolutely. And Vaughn gonna turn around, see if he can get a jar, but I don't think that's the room with the jar.
Yeah, there's a couple different versions of that room. All right, so Alsoa back on Thunderbird. He's gonna take a death. Got 2 chances.
All right, Vaughn needs to either get rid of one of these or cast shield. He gets rid of 1. He gets rid of 2. He gets the back spawn, but gets tagged.
Oof. And we'll see if he should be able to preserve enough resources. That's not going to hurt him too much on Thunderbird, but he is taking hits. Oh, he gets a 1-up?
He gets a 1-up drop.
Okay, that's big.
That's huge.
I don't think it's too likely that Vaughn's going to need it, but it's a good safety.
Yeah. And Vaughn is not too far away from T-Bird, as Alsoa takes death to T-Bird, sitting at his last life. Vaughn getting ready to cast Thunder at full magic. Is not able to cast Reflect, but will be able to shield up and starts the pendulum sitting a little low.
Yeah, it realizes it and immediately goes to the right to reset.
And he is off and away, takes a hit already. Early hit, especially against this T-Bird, is not a good thing, but Vaughn does have that extra life, where Alsoa is on his last life, trying to maintain the center strat, and Vaughn is gonna take a death here.
So, and Alsoa also takes a death, going back to start Thunderbird with 7 kills in a row.
And he is out of there.
Yeah, I don't blame him at this point. He's gonna go dig around and look for some extra containers or the life spell.
Vaughn, unfortunately, already taking 2 hits here off rip on Thunderbird.
This is the deadliest Thunderbird we've seen in some time in this tournament.
It's been quite a while since we've seen a Thunderbird be as aggressive as this one has been.
Yeah, I mentioned Vaughn probably not needing that extra life here, but he is gonna use it.
Yeah, he's getting a little too hasty on this T-Bird fight. He just needs to stop, take a breath, do a quick reset, mental reset, and be good to go. All right. Looks like he did do that mental reset. Unfortunately, having swings that aren't connecting, but that's fine. As long as he stays alive, that is what ultimately matters.
Yeah, even if you only get 1 hit a cycle, as long as you aren't getting hits, then everything. Wow, what a pattern there.
Beautiful dodging by Vaughn there in that pattern, which was abysmal at the least.
Yeah, he's a little off. He's gonna go to the right, take a reset, gets a nasty bit of fireballs there, takes a hit though.
Corner 3. misses the jump on his last possible hit that he can take and is going to take a game over.
Oh man, Thunderbird, MVP of this race.
Thunderbird absolutely MVP of this race. And no, the projectiles are not more than their normal. That is the normal amount of projectiles from T-Bird. It's just when you go into that berserk phase with T-Bird, if you can't take him down quickly, then there's a problem. This T-Bird has not taken prisoners, and Alsoa might be looking to go after attack 6, which would make things a little bit easier, and if not attack 6, then life 8.
Yeah, it's not a terrible idea, especially because he's getting some bonus XP from thundering these things down and taking the magic refills.
The only RNG on the projectiles is the location RNG. The rate is consistent throughout the entirety of the Thunderbird fight. Once you have Thunderbird at half health, that's where he goes into what I like to call his berserk phase, where he starts firing off the fireballs at a much more rapid rate, making it harder to avoid.
And only some of the fireballs are random. Thunderbird's got some peculiar AI where some of the fireballs are function different. Some of them shoot randomly, some of them shoot at you, some of them shoot where you are headed. There is some manipulation you can do as far as how you're moving, when you're pressing forward to try and not get hit. It's one of those things that you just get a feeling for after practicing enough.
Yeah, after you have played enough and practiced, once you actually have the feeling for where the fireballs are going to go and what you need to do to avoid them, it becomes so much easier to do exactly that. Vaughn opting to not grab the fairy here and refill his life. He's playing this a lot more aggressively than before, but at the same time, he's going to have to take a death in order to refill his magic. So I can't entirely blame him for doing that.
Yeah, also close to taking this level. Attack 6 would be ideal, but life 8 would be terrible.
So the wall stabs on elevators are just to push Link a little bit farther to whichever side they are looking at going. So in the case of heading right, it's a stab against the left wall, and Alsoa decided to take the extra magic level, which I honestly think may be helpful.
Yeah, if it helps them, because they didn't have enough to cast. I don't think they had enough to cast Thunder and Reflect. So
Correct.
If they can now, Reflect is a big deal on Thunderbird.
Yeah, because Reflect will shrink the hitbox, and Vaughn, unfortunately, going to take the death there.
Just taking the death, not the end of the world, but now he just has to be real careful not to take any hits. Any damage that he takes now is going to carry over to the Thunderbird fight.
And Thunder is still 96 at Magic 7. What the heck?
Oh, that is rude. If this was a scene where magic, both birds didn't have all the magic containers, that would be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it would be extremely bad.
Yeah, well, the good news is, if you take Magic 8, it's guaranteed to be a lot cheaper. Because, yeah, the vanilla cost is 100 at Magic 7 and 64 at Magic 8.
Here we go. Vaughn back at Thunderbird. Shields up, casts Thunder. And hopefully this fight will go much more smoothly for him as he is getting some of the fireball dodges, which is always good. I can absolutely see him being a little tilted from taking the game over here, but at the same time, he knows Alsoa has not finished yet. So he knows that the door is open, but he doesn't know how much the door is open.
clean so far. I say immediately cursing him.
You were saying?
Just wanted to make it exciting.
And he's off Pendulum, unfortunately. Gonna be able to take the reset on it here, which is good. Has 2 hits to go before Thunderbird is dead. And there it is. That's Thunderbird down for Vaughn.
And that's gotta be GG at this point. He's still got another life in reserve. We've seen a ton of this palace so far.
We've seen 2 loops that end up going to the same place. Vaughn taking the elevator up, and it does not lead to Darklink right off the bat. Gonna opt to head to the right. Unable to cast the jump spell. Foregoing the fairy, heads right, and here's Darklink for Vaughn.
Wow, just an unfortunate seed for Alsoa. Had the opportunity, just needs to get some more practice on Thunderbird and get the practice ROM or make a save state or something, and just put in some reps. It's one of those things. Thunderbird definitely the hardest boss in the game, and could have been a much different seed. Instead, our hopes of a Game 3 are dashed as Vaughn is going to take down Darklink.
Gets the dodge, finishes up, and there it is. Get your GGs out for Vaughn as he is advancing to the semifinals to face Sigil and attempt to claim a spot in the finals. Alsoa working on fighting T-Bird here, unfortunately takes the death. Had the center strat going very, very well. But without shield, those fireballs are just doing so much damage.
And it's very rare that on a full 8 containers at Magic 7 that you can't cast Thunder Reflect and Shield, but just an expensive seed today.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. Alsoa takes a hit. He's only got 1 hit remaining. Oh, Reflect showing what it's capable of. Takes the second hit. And that's going to be a forfeit from Alsoa, throwing in the towel.
Yeah, just a rough time on Thunderbird, unfortunately.
Very rough Thunderbird. What a seed, though.
For sure. Let's see, we've got Alsoa in here. GG, man.
It is. I have a question.
Uh-huh.
How much swearing is allowed? Because I have one very particular thing I want to say.
Is it Screw Thunderbird?
No, actually. It's not
Okay.
that. It is, why the F was Thunder still 96 at Magic 7?
Because the game hates you.
Clearly.
It's just a real nasty roll.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to answer the thing that I'm seeing in chat. I don't play this on a keyboard. I play this on a controller.
But yeah, that unfortunately just you were a little over 10 minutes ahead coming into GP.
Yep.
Just because you it took a while for both of you to get into go mode, and then once you did, the palaces just sort of melted away in front of you. And yeah, just unfortunately, at the end of the day, Thunderbird just did you in.
Yeah. My pendulum isn't great, and I feel like even trying to do the pendulum without reflect was just terrible. So once I had reflect, I just went back to my normal strats. That was the problem, though. I think was missing reflect. With honestly, reflect could have not been 34 at Magic 6, and we would have been okay.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate part. Is even at Magic 7, you weren't able to cast Thunder, Reflect, and Shield all together. At Magic 6, you could cast Thunder and Shield. At Magic 7, you could cast Thunder and Reflect or Thunder and Shield. But you never hit a point that you'd be able to cast all three unless you decided to grind Magic 8, and at that point, it definitely would have taken too long.
Yeah. And like when I saw that Magic 7 was only 600 more than Attack 6, I figured, okay, that's probably doable to get.
And you going to 4 to actually do that was very, very good, especially since you were casting or weaving Thundercasts in as you were getting jars. So it allowed you to be able to get anywhere from the 200 to 300 experience each time you went in and got an Iron Knuckle or got a jar, just depending upon where you were sitting at the given point.
Yep. I honestly, my one regret is I didn't go grind Magic 7 sooner. Because I was considering it for a little while, but I figured, okay, I'm starting to slowly get the hang of Pendulum, and then just never showed up. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go to Magic 7. And hope that, Thunder comes down, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Although I kind of want to reload the seed and grind to Magic 8 now.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that was
the
the
good news
96.
It's I guess it's not guaranteed to be cheaper than 96 at Magic 8, but it would be since the vanilla is 64, 96 would be the absolute highest possible roll for it to be at Magic 8.
The seed will do it.
It could be. I don't know, but yeah, 96 at Magic 7 is just like bad luck. 96 at Magic 8 would be like catastrophically bad luck.
The worst luck possible.
Literally.
I'm pretty sure at that point you just turn off the seed.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, oh, okay, I'm done.
You know what? I don't need this.
And yeah, Vaughn, your game over at a T-Bird was very unfortunate, and I knew you would be on tilt from that, so absolutely understandable.
T-Bird was not in a great location either, because you just had to conserve magic so much in GP. Like, normally that wouldn't be an issue.
And that by far was the hardest part of this GP, was you had to conserve your resources through the entire thing. Otherwise, you were going to be completely screwed going into T-Bird.
If there was ever a seed for Fire Thunder to have rolled, this was it.
Oh, absolutely. But instead, it was Fire Shield.
Yes. So I'm going to say good luck to Vaughn going forward, and I don't think the magic rolls can get much worse than this. I really don't.
I mean, they could, but let's hope they don't.
I mean, if they do at that point, you just...
you say bye.
No, at that point, you go and check the flags and make sure you didn't accidentally turn on high magic cost.
Oh, yeah, that too. Absolutely that too.
All right, well, that's about all I got to say about it. The rest of the seed, honestly, wasn't too bad. Getting boots was annoying, but getting past that bridge was fine.
So I will appreciate, or say that I appreciated at the start of the seed, you went into DM, you found Hammer Cave, and you cleared Hammer Cave. If Boots had been there, that would have been huge. But instead, you got the womp of the blue jar.
Yeah, and honestly, seeing that it was an island, like, I figured, okay, I'll at least poke around. Because honestly, I wasn't even looking for Hammer Cave. I was just looking for a pass-through cave.
Yeah, that would do it. Yeah, the Rawhead room. Ooh, that Rawhead room took both of you a few times.
Hmm.
But I mean,
Yep.
also you did make it into top 8, so you played very well throughout the tournament. Unfortunately, it does come to an end for you here, but with how this year's group of upstarts has played, top 8 definitely not a small feat. So congratulations for making it into the brackets here.
Thank you. And honestly, given that both races were probably within a couple of minutes with a better T-Bird fight, combined with I didn't expect to make brackets to begin with, you know what? I'm good. I'm happy with how I did.
Yeah, it was a really good showing.
Can't ask for much more than that, right?
Right.
Well, Elendar, you got any final thoughts before we throw it back over to VT?
Nope. That's all I have. Good luck to Vaughn going forward in the next round, and we'll see y'all in a bit when we get some more races scheduled.
Absolutely, and I'll echo that. Good luck to you, Vaughn. And VT takes on home.
All right, definitely want to thank Vaughn and Alsoa for the performance they put on today. And also thank you to Elendar and Sonny Rath for commentating. Of course, we'll try to get more from the Upstarts tournament as soon as the semifinals get scheduled. It's now that we know who is in the semifinals. But also this weekend, we have plenty from the Wind Waker Randomizer tournament. And I also see the A Link to the Past Cross Keys tournament, their bracket play-in race coming on Sunday. So definitely tune in for that if you can. But other than that, thank you for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time.